So here's the thing that a lot of people are not understanding, and I'm going to try to watch my words because I don't want Cardi to think I'm saying anything negative about her, especially considering the fact that I knew her before the fame, her and her sister. Here's the thing about Offset. He's not attracted to Cardi. And I'm not only talking about her looks, personality wise, character wise, they don't really have much in common, especially from what I know of the previous woman that he has been with. A lot of men cheat, sure, for numerous reasons. There's men who are very happy in their marriage, very happy in their relationships, and they still cheat just because they want something new. In this case is different. Do you guys see how frequently he does it and how every time he does it is a girl from his past? Because Offset yearns for something he's visually attracted to. At this point, if you have a brain, it's obvious that he stayed with Cardi because Cardi is in a better position than he is. There is no more Migos. So once Migos ended, pretty much so did Offset. So basically, once Bodak Yellow dropped, once Cardi had that hit single, he decided to take her serious so that he can have that to fall back on. If you notice, we only hear about Offset when we hear about Cardi. If he wasn't with Cardi, he would have vanished a long time ago. Takeoff would be more relevant than him in death, to be honest. But I know some of you are going to disagree, and I'm trying to hold back from other things that I know, but he's not, he's in it for, he's in his relationship for survival, basically. And Cardi helps him live the lifestyle he was living before. Without Cardi, there's no way anybody can sit here and think he would still be living that same lifestyle. He's in it just for the lifestyle. But he also, as a man, he also needs... And honestly, like, before Cardi, Offset never dated Hispanic women like that. His baby mothers are pretty black girls. And Cardi is just not that. And like I said, I'm very happy for Cardi. She was a sweetheart before she became famous. Honestly, most of the beef she's in with females, she really did not start it. Cardi's not a hater. I never knew her to be a hater. I never knew her to be a troublemaker. But it's just that this marriage is just not genuine on Offset's end. It's genuine on Cardi's end. Offset basically is just using her. And for anybody who says, oh, but he'll have 3 kids by... Yeah, there's men who have no fame and will have kids with a woman to have a place to stay. So he's having kids with her to stay in a type of A-list, type of celebrity category. There's a lot of men who would stay with women for years and they're not attracted to them or anything. Cardi B is just not Offset's type. Would he cheat on other women? Yes. But it wouldn't be as frequent. Like, every female he cheats on Cardi with, he's out in public with them on a date. After being caught so many times. You think he wasn't cheating with that last girl because she's pregnant? So coincidentally, you and all your previous, I don't want to call them B words or HOESs, but you and the previous girls that you dealt with coincidentally always end up in the same vicinity, in the same hangout spot, same, because y'all just coincident. One of my exes cheated on me with a pregnant girl. That means nothing. But I see a lot of y'all trying to figure it out. Why this, why that. He's not attracted to her. He's not into her like that. And I don't know why the babies keep coming or whatever. If Cardi wasn't so successful, if she did not have more money than him, they would either would have never been together or the relationship would have lasted a year, if that. He's with her because she's more successful, just to be honest.
And it is sad because Cardi genuinely cares for the man. Genuinely. She genuinely loves him. She genuinely believes that this is the man for me. She does not want to leave him because she is in love with him. And that is the most awful place. And that's the most awful place for you to be in, where you keep on trying to make it work, but it seems like he is not. And this relationship depends on you moving forward. You have your own ego as well as a woman. You have your own ego just as much as Offside has his own ego. You have your own egos and your own flaws and your own things that you have to deal with. At this point, Offside has even shown himself that he doesn't love Cardi B. And Cardi, being a woman that she is, driven by success, driven for her family, he is capitalizing on that. He's capitalizing on Cardi's love for family, probably because of the environment that she grows up in, keeping together with the people that you were with. Those are the people who, are the ones that's supposed to be behind you. She's not seeing that this man is lynching off her and feeding off her because she is literally the bread and the butter in the family. Otherwise, he would have faded away with the amigos. Cardi B is keeping him relevant. And because of Cardi B's insecurities and her own ego, this man will keep on doing this to her. He will always keep on doing this to her. He will never stop doing this to her. Cardi has the potential to be involved in her music and doing her music, doing other projects aside from her marriage life, right? Because again, being married to Offset was about capital. It has more to do with capital, at least for him, right? But Cardi was marrying for love. Cardi always said that for marriage, it was sacred for her. But for him, it was capital. All these homes, all of these things, it's her trying to boost the family revenue because, her man literally is pretty much useless. And this man lynches off of her hard work and brings about different women. And I feel like this is sometimes where you realize that her disdain for black women on a recent ramp comes from how her men literally disrespect her each time he gets with multiple black women. This is why she comes for black women the way that she does. And for a woman who overly does the surgeries and all these things on her bodies to make herself desirable for her man, does not change Offset's desirable pool for women, because that's the woman that he wants to be with, the woman that he cheats with, like he said. And him being a man, he's doing what he needs to do for his bag. And Cardi not realizing, probably will realize later on, maybe after 10 kids, that this man never really cared for me. All he wanted from me was my money, was my time, and me investing in him. Meanwhile, he's not really investing anything in me back. Doesn't really care. All he does is hurt me continuously. He's sorry because he's caught. He's not sorry because he's doing it. Because if he was sorry, he wouldn't be doing it as rampant as he's doing it. At this rate, he's doing it because he knows why he's doing it. He knows that actually Cardi is trying to force the unforceable, basically. So it's really sad when you look at it. Instead of this gorgeous woman focusing on her music, she's focusing all of her energy in things that shouldn't be focused in. And maybe she'll divert in other avenues such as fashion because she's good at that. She might pull into that. But her being pregnant again with a third baby with a man in a rocky marriage, thinking that maybe might salvage the marriage, it's a bad idea. Go, go, go.
Cardi. As a fan, I'm going to touch your hand when I say this. And please listen to me carefully. Use your butt. Like, my God. Like, why is it that every time we feel like we get close to you dropping a goddamn album, something happens? And obviously, I'm aware that pregnancy is not a hindrance. You can do all things through pregnancy or through God. I don't know. My thing is, though, why would you want to do everything pregnant? Like, why would you want to add on another layer of stress on top of you possibly, potentially, maybe, never, I don't know, putting out a new album? And on top of that, you come on here and tell us every goddamn 3 businesses how that man ain't shit. I'm perturbed at the logic behind this. Like, instead of bags and cars as apology gifts, you get babies? But you know what? It's your body, your choice, your uterus. I'm simply tired of waiting. Because between you and Giddy Up Giselle, I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Cardi is in love with that man. She has not reached that breaking point yet, but she's will. She's about to. She's about to reach that breaking point where she realizes that this man ain't shit. And this man is a lich. And this man does nothing other than to get her pregnant. And I'm thinking at this point, it's her. It's her. She's the one that wants to be pregnant and make this work. Irrespective of you gonna get me pregnant, we're gonna make it work. Even if it's through a baby, whatever it is, I'm not losing my husband. My husband. Us Beyonce. Us Beyonce. Ha ha. Beyonce was like, we're gonna go to therapy, my boy. We're gonna sit this damn through because I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving you. You're not leaving me. We are in this until this end. What's this perfect love story anyway? Anyway, who wants the perfect love story anyway? You mean him cheating on you 100 for the 100th time? You know, I can consider many things as hardship. Like maybe he had cancer and you had to be by him and you had to sell everything in the house and his family chased you out because they don't like you. And then you two have to figure out life together. And then you're singing to the top of your lungs. Who wants that perfect love story anyway? And then you're like making a speech. We go through a lot. We came through a lot. But coming out of different vaginas and telling me that we've been through a lot. And I'm going to sing like, who wants this perfect love story anyway? Meanwhile, you have been busy trying to unalive other chicks. Meanwhile, you've been trying to cases of you having different mamas and you making them abort those babies because you have a crazy wife who's might unalive you or your career or some kind of sort. That is not my version of a love story. That's just a grown-ass man making a decision that this is what he wants for himself and dealing with an insecure woman created by him. He created this, right? He created this and now he does not want to live with what he has created. He's going about with multiple women, being around multiple women. Now Cardi's pregnant. She's pregnant for the 3rd time now with a husband that has multiple babies all over. She's gonna support all the jungle, all the kids, all those kids, all of them, all 100 of them. I love kids, mind you, and I love kids. I think kids are adorable. Kids need to be protected from psychos, from men, and more specifically, and women. Some women, they need to be protected. I'm for children. I adore them. I believe that they're wonderful. I believe that they are the most amazing people to be born. Kids, stunning ever people. But, however, you need to be careful about how these type of kids and the environment that you bring them into, girl. Why do you always need to be pregnant? And I believe that she's not going to bring about in an album anytime soon. Cardi's going to drop like one song or two, like, what is it? A song that eventually that she might say, okay, she's around, but never really drop an album. She's going to do singles only. That's what Cardi can do at this point. And I believe with all the singles that she drops, she might as well drop an album. But hey, it's her life, it's her decision. So why would I want to force somebody who's doing that and the kind of life that they're involved in? Hell no.
I'm just going to go ahead and call it like I see it, but Cardi B is afraid to make a comeback. Cardi B dropped her latest single, the Like What freestyle, last week, and I checked out the song and I checked out the visuals and the music video that came out, and it was it was a good performance. Like, it's typical Cardi. We already know that her videos and stuff like that she puts out, she's always going to give us visuals. She's always going to give us looks. She's going to give us the body, this and the other. And then she's also going to give us like a song that we're either going to really, really like or we really don't particularly care about. Personally, I don't particularly care about this particular freestyle, but I know there's people who probably really love it. But that's not the main point that I'm trying to make here. I don't understand why it has taken 5, darn near 6 years for you to just drop your next project. It really doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it just boils down to the fact that Cardi B is just not confident in her true rapping artistic ability. And if you analyze her career and you go back to like 2018, even like, so let's get this, like the Cardi B that we were like packaged and was presented to us, like even before Love and Hip Hop days, back on Instagram, then going on Love and Hip Hop, and then of course Bodak Yellow, and then of course Invasion of Privacy, her first debut album, which was groundbreaking. She won a Grammy for it. That's actually really catapulted her to like kind of like the artist and like the female rapper that we have today. She's even been able to usher in even like a new genre, even after the influence of Nicki Minaj has been able to usher in a whole other kind of new age of female MCs. Now, mind you, again, that was back in 2018, and now it is 2024, and that's a long time, and a lot of things can happen in someone's life. So, obviously, we've sat here and we've seen Cardi not just have 1, but 2 kids. She has since been married to the rapper Offset, and then has had a number of different issues in their marriage, but also a number of issues in legal trouble as well. So, she's had a lot go on. But at the same time, I feel like now fast forwarding and us getting like these different collabs and these different singles that she's putting out, I'm starting to just really get the impression that I don't feel like Cardi B is truly confident in her own ability as not just an artist, but I don't think that she really truly believes that she really is that great. And depending on who you are, you may not think that she is that great. Personally, like if you're the individual who feels like hip hop and rappers should strictly live and die by the pen, and what I mean by that is you being able to be authentic and writing your own raps, then that's one thing. But if you are somebody who just feels like you just need to be able to have that like kind of package deal what we have now of like you just getting the Dominican Republic, Colombian BBL special, have the face, be palatable, and have the right skin tone, and then have the right ghostwriters, and then kind of get packaged out, then you may be an individual who feels like you don't need to have that type of talent to be able to be a staple and be considered one of the greats. But because of like the origin and like the beginning stages of Cardi's career, and I hate the fact that when we bring up Cardi, we have to bring up Nicki Minaj, but it's just a simple fact of the matter, especially now, knowing what we know now. Cardi B really was presented and like kind of propped up to really juxtapose and challenge Nicki Minaj's presence because she had been around for so long. Regardless if that's what Cardi knew what was going on, because I genuinely don't believe Cardi had any malintent or really knew that was like she was kind of being the pawn for that. It's just the fact of the matter that we have to bring up Nicki, and I feel like because there's been such vitriol and so many things that have happened with their beef, I think that's further added to Cardi B's fear and her own, I feel like her own like feelings of feeling inadequate, because I feel like with all the pressure that has happened over the years, she is terrified, petrified to flop, to put out a project that is not going to do numbers, because I feel like because she's waited so long, the pressure has just like, it's just going to be mounting, because now we're just going to be waiting for a body of work. And now because we live in this kind of time now where I hate this because, well, I guess it's always kind of been like that, where people feel like there can only be one person who's like that girl. Like we see it all the time. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what genre. Like it could be R&B, pop, or hip hop. If you're black, or if you're like black or Afro, like adjacent to the culture, like people tend to just tokenize you, right? So I feel like that's another element, because I feel like Cardi B is a very sensitive person, and I think like, and there's no shade to that, because I'm a sensitive person too. But I feel like when you're an entertainer, you would think after so many years in the industry and in the game, like you would develop that veneer to be able to not be fazed by individuals who literally don't carry any weight to your life or your livelihood or your career. But time and time again, we see Cardi going off on like Twitter and Instagram and on lives, and she's just very emotional and she's very reactive to just like everyday normal nobody people. And she's just like, and I hate that for her, because I remember when Nicki was going on that tirade and she was just like losing her mind during like the Megan Thee Stallion hiss thing. And that one girl had said on TikTok, she had said, "I'm so pissed because I feel like Nicki Minaj, she does not know that she's Nicki Minaj." In a sense, I feel that way about Cardi B, because I'm just kind of like, who are you convincing? Like, you've already put your mark and you made a staple with Invasion of Privacy, that one album. It was a very good album. We cannot sit here and say that was not a good body of work in regards to just like hip hop, even at the time, even to now. But we give a lot of passes to Cardi B, and I'm not particularly sure why. I mean, that could be a whole other video as to my theories as to why we give Cardi B a bunch of passes. But I've even seen people go out of their way to say like, oh, well, I mean, like Lauryn Hill's only, put out one album with the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. But I really don't understand how we are comparing apples and oranges with that. The fact of the matter is that Cardi B does not believe that she is great. I don't believe that Cardi B truly believes that she really belongs on that high pedestal that she's been put on by her fans and individuals who are hip hop fans in general. And it's strictly for the fact of the matter because she knows that she really does not push a pen. We know that she has ghostwriters. We know that she has people who write the raps for her. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but why not just own it? At the end of the day, again, it's been 5 to 6 years. Why haven't you put out another project? And yes, you've been pregnant a couple of times. You've had a number of issues with your marriage and stuff like that we keep on getting thrown into the group chat about. But really, like, just on a timeline speaking, like, there's no reason as to why you shouldn't have put out your sophomore album when WAP came out. And at the very least, the very latest, when you dropped Up. Because we know that you'll hop on a feature and this and the other, but I really don't feel like Cardi B is really that comfortable. And do we really see her as a female MC? I almost don't even know if she's having fun anymore. Like, for real, and I asked that to Cardi, like hypothetically, like I'm asking to Cardi, but like, are you having fun? Like, are you enjoying your life, like being a rapper? Because I really just feel like the Cardi B that we have now today, I feel like it's an individual who's really just like an internet and just social media personality, public figure who happens to rap. And that's okay if that's the direction of where female rap is going and that's where it's going to stay. But Cardi B's insecurity, to me, is very, very loud. So I'm really interested to see if she's actually going to drop a project in the next couple of months with this new drop of whatever the single is. But now I even feel like there's more of a microscope that's going to be on it. What are your all's thoughts? Because I can't be the only one who has been thinking that she just has to be absolutely terrified to make a comeback. Because I don't think that she really feels like she can.
You're not going to be able to convince me that Cardi B and Nicki Minaj aren't best friends behind closed doors. Like, I feel like they sit on the phone and talk to each other about what their next Twitter war is going to be about. I think that when the cameras aren't watching and whenever they're in private, they listen to each other's, like, best songs. Like, Cardi, her favorite song by Nicki is probably Super Bass or The Crying Game. And then I feel like Nicki's favorite song by Cardi is Be Careful. So I don't know. I'm just not convinced that they hate each other. Like, I really think that they are the best of friends when nobody's watching.